Bottom of the climb today. Beautiful bridge. I'll rotate my cameras to get that on camera better. It's like 7-minute effort today. Nice steep hill. Beautiful bit of the world. Really looking forward to this one. It's called Barlow Hill. Look at that. I'm not getting a flattering angle of it.
I know you're thinking, Nick, just move out the way of the tree. But I was getting nettle stung. It was really hard, guys. Right. Welcome to Danebridge. This is Barlow Hill. 2 kilometres, 7.1%. Not even close to being the full story. This is essentially 2 blocks of 10% climbing with a downhill in the middle. Scouts were out for a walk and they started heckling us, which was always nice. I love being heckled by random children when I'm about to race. Doesn't get in my head at all. I'm mentally strong, honest. Okay, so as we set off, there's a lad in front of me, Jack. His whole strategy was to just ride it in the big ring, which, fair play, Jack, like that is a good strategy. I wasn't sure what my strategy would be, but it was basically just go very hard from the beginning. I was trying to break it down into 2 blocks of 3 minutes at my 5-minute max power, if that makes sense, and hope that the 20 seconds, 30 seconds downhill in the middle would be enough recovery for me to do that again. Early apology, my metrics are miles off this week, so they just finish really early, and I'll be still like huffing and puffing, going really slowly, and it'll say I'm on the downhill. Just ignore it. So I set off nice and fast, and my power pedals disconnected immediately, and it freaked me out, and I thought, right, I'm just going to have to pedal really, really hard. So I think I get the sort of illusion of speed as you come up through here. Beautiful little village, and I think it's because of the walls either side of you, you feel fast. Then it rears up steep quickly. Now, this bit's like 15% probably, through this little picturesque English village with a country pub on the side. And I decided not to get out the saddle yet. I wanted to stay seated until just here. This climb, although I've said it breaks down into 2 blocks of 10%, is actually never steady. I love it. It was almost constantly changing gradient. You always had to be thinking, what am I best doing here? So I allowed myself to get out the saddle just around here. You'll see the bars start swinging a lot more. And then, as I say, I really just thought, just go hard. I'm not limiting myself. I'm going to be happy to stamp. There's out the saddle. You can see the camera shakes a lot more as I rock the bars. And I just wanted to do over 400. I'm not saying that this would be the type of hill that I would perform best on necessarily, but this is my favourite type of hill to ride. Of all of the hill climb project climbs we've done so far, this is far and away the one that I would go back to purely for the pleasure of climbing it. It's beautiful, it's steep, it's interesting, it's engaging, and it's unrelenting. So, as you'll know when you're doing a really hard effort, you lose all perception of time. I must have only been going, 2 minutes at this point? I was really adamant that it had to be the flat bit any second. Potholed, by the way, even more interesting, obviously. You might accidentally end up heading into oncoming traffic because you've been avoiding a big pothole. Who knows? All these things you like to think about when you are absolutely on the limit. So in this descent, I thought one thing that may benefit me in this flat/descent section is just going ballsy, just go really, really hard. Now, Beamer in the notes about this does warn that there's a junction in the village and you just need to keep your head up, and I thought, right, but I am just going to cane it through there. The faster I can go, the better, because I trust myself to be able to recover at, 200, 250 watts rather than freewheeling, so get every piece of speed you can. I forgot that it's not a neat downhill, it's like flat/down, then false flat again, then flat/down again. My metrics think I'm up the other side. Ignore them. Lovely evening, by the way. There was like a hint of rain. On Wirral, it was going to be raining this whole evening. Here's the fast bit as you zoom down. I just wanted to slingshot up here. It's always disheartening how quickly you lose all that speed. But I just thought, even if it gains me 5 seconds, so be it. So yeah, it turned out to be a lovely evening. It was a little bit chilly, but very nice. Really enjoyable time to be riding my bike on a hill climb. And to be honest with you, it was here that I thought, you've absolutely fucked this, Nick. Because I was already really, really tired, and I knew that if anything, the second climb is longer than the first in the way I'd broken it up, right? I'd said it was 2 by 3 minute efforts with a bit in the middle, but really it's like the first one is 3 and this one's 3 minute 30 or something. So the fact that really this was out of the saddle, everything I had, and I could just about hold the 400 watts, but you see me faltering. And I knew that you come over the top and there's a much smoother finish, like the last few hundred meters are much flatter, and I'm dross at getting power out there, aren't I? So I had to accommodate for the fact that I wasn't going to get power out. But, you know, it is what it is. It was about here that I started to taste the blood in my throat, never mind the blood that I spat up later, so that was concerning. And I really had begun to convince myself that this must be towards the top now. But it's still quite a long way, so I really needed to, you know, push on, and this is like the sort of spot where races can be won or lost by how much speed you get there, and if you're me, they're never going to be won, they can only be completely lost. If you look in the rear camera, you can see behind me, and I can't stress enough what a lovely bit of the world this is, right on the Cheshire-Staffordshire border in the Peak District. Danebridge was very pretty, coming up through Winkle there. So I'm thinking, I must be able to see the finish line, but I've not even seen Rhiannon yet, and I knew there were people setting up in a lay-by, so then my head's going, that means you're nowhere near the finish line, there's much more of this, and oh, it was a very tough mental battle. I think, because of the way I paced it, this was the hardest of these efforts that I've done, and when I'd recce'd this, I thought this bit would be quite fast. I was thinking, you know, get low, get speed up, and I just don't, do I? Like, the speed isn't forthcoming, and I'm actually still on upward of 5%. Here's the support I was expecting. Here's Rhiannon, always there with a cowbell, cheering me on. It makes such a difference, you know, it's so nice. And then it's just round this corner. Finally start to get the speed up a little bit, and as you can see, my metrics are out when you think I've already finished, so you don't get to see my shock and awe 400 watt finish. Rhiannon commented later, by the way, that the lad who beat me, Jack, he had a really strong kick here, so he obviously paced it well. He managed to get really fast and just finished very strong, so fair play. If you want to know how the better riders do it, that's exactly it. Here's the line, soggy little whimper over the finish, but nonetheless, that was good enough for my best finish in these, which was 2nd place. Now, I'm under no illusion that, you know, that's because there were fewer people around and all that sort of thing, but I'm absolutely chuffed with it anyway. So yeah, 2nd place, and that's still, like, strong guys around me, so I'm really delighted with myself. My power there, it says 387, but of course I'm missing like 40 seconds of me going really fast at the beginning, so I think it's quite possible that would have been a power PB for this time. I know it's boring when someone claims to get a power PB every week, but I'm going well at the moment, and I think it would have been a 6-ish minute power PB, I suspect around 400 watts, which would be mega. So I really value these little bits at the end where you just sort of regroup and chat, and I'm a bit socially awkward and a bit uncomfortable with all the different people, but it's great just to, you know, all be like, we like riding bikes, let's talk about how we did it. It's always fun. Back down to see Rhiannon, so I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching as ever, guys. I'm in Bilbao next week, so no videos, and I'll see you all soon.